So I was saying I'm a solution architect, and I mostly do designs of bigger solutions. But accidentally I stumbled upon Rust when I wanted to build my own API gateway and stuff and everything. You know, those grand ideas that sometimes you have. And then I learned about Rust, and then I started playing with it, obviously, as I fell in love, and then I started to try to build things, and then I reached out to the community, and now I'm here trying to help because I've run these kind of things in other places. I used to live in London, and now I'm here. So yeah, thank you everybody for having me. So the first thing that I wanted to show you is one of the first tools that actually helped me get up to speed with Rust, which is called Shuttle.rs. Shuttle is trying to do many things, but at this point, the main thing that they're trying to be is, imagine, you know, Heroku? People use Heroku or Fly.io, any of those. Well, anyone actually knows Shuttle? Sorry. No, all right. It's like Heroku, but absolutely 100% specialized for Rust. So basically, if you use Mac, I use Mac, you go to Homebrew, you do from brew install Shuttle, and then you get their client, and then from there, you can, same as with Heroku, if you used it before, you can set up your account, and you can start creating projects and deploy and run with one line in the command line, right? Which to me, and I think that was the title of the talk, it was a great tool, obviously, for me to learn and to put things on the cloud immediately, but also to start prototyping things and creating things. And the team is actually doing a great work in terms of something that sometimes Rust is not so friendly in some spaces on the tooling, especially on web, because web, obviously, if anyone that worked before with Java or Ruby on Rails, there is hundreds of tools available, and everything is almost ready for you. This one is, thank you. So on Rust, obviously, there is nothing like that. If anyone here is using Swift, you know use Swift? No? All right. If you use Swift, there is a backend framework there that is called Vapor, which also has this kind of thing. You have a client tool, and then you can set up all your projects. Shuttle lets you do that without actually forcing you into one web framework. So if you know Axum or Actix or any of the others, well, you can use Shuttle to actually say, OK, Shuttle init, new project, and then you tell it which template you want to use. And immediately, you will have something like that, where you will just start coding right away, and then you do Shuttle deploy, and it's on the cloud, and you can start connecting. And to me, when I was starting to play and actually was trying to convince my backend teams to start bringing in Rust into their tooling options, it was very helpful because I could show them, OK, look at this. This is fast. This is reliable. We can include it in the CI/CD. So Shuttle also has a GitHub Actions that you can bring into your pipelines, and you can automate the whole deploy, keep your secrets in a secure location, and do the usual GitOps that backend people will force you to do, even if you are prototyping, because big companies obviously are demanding on those sides. I don't blame them, but if you are trying to prototype something, maybe you don't need that much. So Shuttle actually thought about that, and they went up to that point that make sure that you can even set up your pipelines and get up to speed very quickly. So I definitely want to recommend this tool. So I used it, and it helped me do even the first developments. So on the first project, I even used Shuttle as my development environment. So I kept everything there. Obviously, for staging and production, it was on AWS. But when you create this, the first recommendation, because it's not out of the box on the tool, is you create the project, create a workspace right after, and then you can keep all the development deployment on the Shuttle project, and then you can have another crate where you can have all your logic, all your business and everything, and then just use that on a different deployment for other target environments. So this is one recommendation. I'm going to make a stop. Any questions?
Do they have a free tier?
Absolutely. Big thing. Not like Heroku that took it away. They have a free tier. So you can do it for free and prototype and get to and show it to all the cyber people on your company and tell them, hey, you can play with this for free. I wouldn't recommend it past development environments, mostly because it's moving really fast and it's changing a lot, and it doesn't offer the kind of security that you would maybe use on other areas, right? So keep in mind that it's mostly for prototyping and development at this stage. Another thing they're very cool they're doing, I just remember, is they have an option to create, how do you call it, a project, and you give it an idea with AI. So you say, Shuttle, you need a template that you can tell it to use it action, but you can say, I need to have it to do that connects to a MongoDB as a storage, and then it does it. So it's interesting to even start prototyping that quickly, because yeah, it takes a lot of work out of your shoulders, obviously.
Can you self-host, or do you always?
Yes, you can run it locally. With the same command line, instead of doing deploy, you can say cargo shuttle run, and it will run locally on a, I don't know, 8080 or some port on the other machine.
Is it only backend?
Yes, it's meant to be as Heroku, really. Yeah. And again, it's free for now, so take advantage of it. I think it will be free for a long time. Another thing that I would like to recommend from these people, they make amazing tutorials for a lot of things, not necessarily for web development. So if you want to follow if you are getting up to speed with other topics on Rust, they publish very interesting blog posts, and they are very, very detailed, so I recommend them. All right. Are we good for the presentation?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You can do it.
We are here. So the second part of this was actually trying to share and discuss some of the latest things that we have been seeing on Rust, and so it's ideally I would like this to be more of a conversation. If we can make it happen, let's see. Because obviously I'm not engineering, I'm only doing solutions, so I don't keep up that well with the very late. I think we met last time in end of February. All right, so in the last 2 months, if you can think of announcement, then yeah. Two things that I think really like to highlight in terms of what's going on with Rust is that in the organizational level, a lot of things are happening. I think community is growing and maturity is growing a lot. At least since a year, maybe we haven't had any big drama, at least, right? Not that they are bad, right? I think, in my opinion, growing brings that kind of stuff from time to time.
RustConf was the last drama.
Yeah, exactly. But that was mid last year. So hopefully we'll make a year without any other drama, because we have them quite often. And one of the things that I like to highlight is that the Baby Foundation, for anyone here in gaming? No. All right. It doesn't matter really, because if Baby is an engine, a game engine that has a lot of momentum, but there are a lot of crates inside Baby that are actually starting to be used outside and not just for gaming, because they are doing a lot of stuff that is very interesting. One that I would like to highlight is that they have a very cool dependency injection solution. If you, like me, come from a languages where dependency injection is ubiquitous, and then it's not so adopted in Rust, and then you still want to do it, I would say go take a look to the crate in Baby Engine because it's really interesting. And another, I think, big thing in terms of foundation that happened was the Rocket. I don't know if anyone has used the Rocket framework. It had another framework that has a bit of a drama in terms of there is only one guy maintaining it that really holds all the power on it, and has always been, I would say, controversial because people really love it, to be honest, and they stopped using it just because he wouldn't share power, to be honest. But then, I think it was October last year, he created the foundation. And before coming here, I checked, and he actually completed all the migration steps from his own account to the foundation, and there is people on the foundation. Of course, there is a lot of work to be done, but this is actually a thing that happened, and not just an announcement, which was something that the community feared, that it will stay just on that. So hopefully we will have, again, another web framework competing with the others. I don't think we have enough, to be honest. So I think we have Axum, Actix, Rocket. I don't know if there is another one big that I can remember.
Is Tower on Axum, or is it
Tower is part of Axum, actually.
part of Axum?
Yeah. It could be used outside, but I've never seen it. I think it's just plainly part of. So this is a good thing in terms of organization. I don't know if anyone heard of any other actually happening.
Leptos, I think.
Leptos also had a foundation now.
No, not foundation, but it's another website.
Yeah. But it's, yeah, okay, yeah. Mostly used on the rendering side, right? Leptos? Yeah. So yeah, definitely a good thing to see these kind of things happening. I will tell about the picture in a second. Releases. This was a last minute, again, because I haven't been following too much on craze and stuff.
Yeah,
But this is...
The previous release was much more interesting. The 77.
Because when did that happen? A month ago?
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago. All right. What was in that one before we go into this one? I don't remember.
Sorry, the bunch of stabilizations.
A lot of stabilization. All right. I don't remember which ones, but if anyone remember what was on 1.17.0, this one to me, for people working, again, in services, is an interesting one because something that I was complaining at one point is that the binaries were very big. And part of the reasons, obviously there is a static linking, which I'm not that happy about. But the other one is that the standard library, if you don't know it, comes with the debug symbols. And even if you are actually building in release, they will be there. You have to intentionally opt out for them, even on release. And this now is the default. I think this, because now we have someone actually looking at on the toolchain team, there is one person actually dedicated to these kind of things now, which is part of growing the organization from what I was saying before. But this is very nice because if you tomorrow update your toolchain and then you build again, you should have all your binaries a little bit reduced at least. Any other crates, recent releases? Anyone remembers? Want to share? Oh, I can't remember anyone. But, all right. And then conferences and things. And this will explain the picture. I had the chance to attend the Rust Nation in UK. That happened, last week. And it was quite interesting for a couple of talks, others not so much, but I'm really, yeah, sorry, don't tell Ernest. But it was really nice, and I want to highlight some of them. This is Tim McNamara. I don't know if anyone knows. He has a very nice book called Rust in Action. Rust in Action, very interesting if you want to see the undergrounds of Rust. And he gave a very interesting talk in which he didn't go into any details of how to use unsafe. Oh, by the way, all the talks are available since yesterday in YouTube, if you want to watch them. I will recommend this, but yeah, you can browse any actually. He was talking about unsafe, not in terms of how to use it or any details of the unsafe, but actually trying to break out some of the misconception on unsafe, because everybody hears unsafe, and then there is now a lot of momentum with the community in terms of, oh, you cannot have unsafe on a crate because then you are the devil, kind of things. And while unsafe is here actually to relax some of the rules, it's not really relaxing everything, right? You still have a type system, you still have all the ways of coding that you will have with Rust. You cannot, just because you write unsafe and open brackets, doesn't mean that you are inside the JavaScript, right? So he gave a bunch of examples of how, don't take this as it's a crazy world that you can do anything inside it. Unsafe is mostly meant, and people that use this more than me probably can speak louder, but it's mostly meant to cover these scenarios where the borrow checking and the strict rules by Rust is not sufficient to make sure that validate that a code is actually following the rules. And here by saying unsafe in terms of memory, you are saying, I will abide by this rule, trust me. But it doesn't mean that you can do anything. And there is a lot of tooling next to it. This is another thing that he was talking, like MIDI, that can actually help you do checks on top of it that will actually go through your unsafe code and tell you, well, this is actually unsound. So you have some actual controls over it. It doesn't mean that everything is let loose. So I highly recommend that one. Then the other one that was amazing talk was that guy over there. I don't remember the name, but he's the lead team engineer on Google that is in charge of the Android operating system and the Android compiler. So they have a lot of stuff on C++ now. And they have some things in Go when obviously they have so much trouble, right, maintaining C++ code base that as soon as tools like Rust and Go emerge, they quickly jump and start building things with them. He didn't go into saying how much what percentages they are on now, but he did share that no new code goes on C++, which was quite amazing. They do maintenance, but as soon as they realize, oh, this change or this hotfix could take a while, they start really considering rewriting that part of the code base. And what they have found is with both Go and Rust, in equal amount, they are double the efficient that they are with C++. So, and to me that is interesting first because obviously we always assume that on the long run you get proficient on Rust and then you get more efficient on it, even though if it takes you a bit longer in order to adopt. But also that it's the same with Go, and then you also have the exact same, use another word, productivity that you will have with Rust, which my first impression will be that Go will be a little easier to actually adopt, and for them they are taking around the same time, so they are taking around 2 months for half of the engineers to go from either C++ to from C++ to either Go or Rust, which is quite impressive. And then the rest is going to take around 4 months for the rest of the engineers to catch up, which for big companies like this is obviously in no time. So this was very interesting, and I highly recommend it. And of course, there were a lot of talks, and you can all get it on YouTube, so go get it. I don't know how to go back. But the picture actually was, the picture of Ferris with the hat was actually from there. I only took one, so sorry, I'm not sharing. Yeah, and that was it in terms of conferences. And then probably whoever is on the Telegram, you already saw that we started asking some questions, and we share. We should share it today, after today again, but we share a questionnaire around, we want to know what you are doing and what conferences, what speakers you are interested in to listen, what topics, because with Aki, we are, and more people were trying to start putting together a conference. We cannot share any details because we don't have much more defined yet, but we are looking into it and to having it in Buenos Aires. So part of the questions will be, would you attend? What is your interest and what are you doing there? So we can try fine-tune the talks and the tracks into whatever best serves you, obviously. So keep that in mind, and we will share the link so you can help us with answering some questions. That will be very helpful.
I haven't checked the answers. Do we have any?
Yeah, we have 50 answers already. We definitely want more, because soon, hopefully soon, we will start opening the call for proposals. This is just going to take you to the Rust Latam org, which I don't know if there's anything there now. We are moving all the websites to GitHub, so we're in the middle of some transitions there, but this is some of the ideas, right? We want to have it maybe early December in Buenos Aires. We expect that number of people. We are going to be bringing in some of those speakers maybe, or others, I mean big names, hopefully. And as I said on the talk before, this is a great opportunity for social networking, right? We keep saying with Aki, come in person to the talks, because this is where you can actually mingle between each other and see what you're doing and maybe help you find the person that will help you with your project, or even find a new job, or find your next employee. There's a lot of things that can happen in a meetup. I've seen them all happening. I never seen anyone stop talking because of a meetup, just so you know. Don't worry about that. But yeah, these kind of things are a great spot. So I really encourage that you attend to it. And then, I know I've been asking before, but if you want to do a little bit, can anyone try if this actually works? Because I did it 2 days ago. I'm not sure if it's going to work. But this is a Mentis to try to get to know what you guys are doing, or if you have any recommendations from crates or anything. Or you want to share some news, like, hey, I'm going to be a father, whatever, then you can put it there. I don't, it's not a bad idea. We'll circle back to what you wrote at the end, but please do so we can do some kickoff for the rest of the conversations. Is it working then?
It seems so.
All right, nice.
You have to register, it seems.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn Mentis. I'm sorry about that. It should work without it. Maybe because I have a free account. Anyway, that's an idea. I wrote share your oxidations. Hope somebody catch on that phrase. Since it's... all right.
This is ridiculous. It asks me for my email to send me the results.
Well, you want them, right?
Yeah, I want the results. And it sends me an email with a link to open another page to see the results.
I'm sorry. I'll get better for the next one. But yeah, if you got in there and you want to share, otherwise we can just do it verbose, right? This is things that we learn from meetup to meetup to get better at. And that was it in terms of getting this icebreaker stuff. Thank you very much. Thank you.